Have you ever wondered why some people instantly command respect the moment they walk into a room? What if I told you that you could do the same starting today? Maybe you've been overlooked at work, or your opinions aren't valued in conversations. Feeling invisible isn't just frustrating, it's disheartening. It can make you question your worth, your abilities, and even your place in the room. But here's the good news. Respect isn't reserved for a select few. It's not something you're born with. It's something you can learn to command. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. We'll share practical, psychology-backed tips that you can start using immediately, whether it's at work, in your relationships, or even in everyday situations. These aren't just tips. They're game changers that will elevate your presence and transform the way people perceive you. And stay with me until the very end, because tip number 5 is the most powerful of all. It's a strategy that not only commands respect, but also protects your self-worth. Let's get started. Many people resort to belittling others to feel more important. It's their insecurity speaking, not your inadequacy. When someone dismisses your ideas, interrupts you, or makes a joke at your expense, it's often more about them asserting control or masking their own doubts than about you. But let's be honest, sometimes the lack of respect isn't entirely their fault. It can happen because of the boundaries we fail to set, or the moments we avoid standing up for ourselves. Respect isn't just about how others treat you, it's about how you train them to treat you. As the saying goes, people will treat you the way you allow them to. If you let someone interrupt you once, they'll likely do it again. If you accept disrespect without addressing it, you're signaling that it's okay. The key is recognizing these moments and taking control. For example, imagine you're presenting an idea in a meeting and someone cuts you off mid-sentence. If you hesitate or let it slide, it sends a message that your voice isn't important. Now picture someone calmly saying, "Excuse me, I wasn't finished," and continuing their point. That simple statement shifts the power dynamic instantly. It tells the room, "My voice matters." Or think about a group of friends. Maybe one person keeps making sarcastic remarks about you. If you laugh along every time, you're teaching them that it's fine to treat you this way. But by saying something like, "Hey, I don't find that funny," you take back control of the interaction. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but it redefines how others treat you. Respect is also about consistency. If you set boundaries one day but let them slide the next, you send mixed signals. Instead, make asserting yourself a habit, whether it's in conversations, at work, or with friends. Every time you stand firm, you reinforce your self-respect, and others will follow suit. Here's a question for you. When was the last time someone interrupted or disrespected you? How did you respond? Think about whether that response invited more of the same, or made them pause and reconsider. The good news is, respect isn't a fixed quality, it's something you can actively build, and the process starts with small but impactful actions. Each time you assert yourself, you're shaping the way others see you, and more importantly, how you see yourself. Now, let's dive into the strategies that will help you command respect immediately. 1. Create a lasting first impression. Research shows people judge your character within seconds of meeting you. The way you carry yourself can make or break their perception. A firm handshake, confident posture, and direct eye contact speak volumes about your self-assurance, even before you utter a word. The key to a strong first impression is to exude confidence without arrogance. Maintain eye contact that feels natural, not forced. Stand tall, with your shoulders back and your head high. Your voice should be clear, steady, and intentional. Avoid mumbling or speaking too quickly. Remember, how you present yourself sets the stage for how people will treat you. Consider Sarah, a professional who struggled with shyness. During interviews, she would avoid eye contact, slouch, and speak softly, leading employers to overlook her potential. After working on her presence, standing taller, smiling warmly, and projecting her voice, she not only landed a great job, but also gained respect from her colleagues almost instantly. Here's a quick exercise. Next time you meet someone, consciously practice standing tall, smiling, and speaking with intention. You'll feel the difference immediately. People will see you as someone worth paying attention to, someone who values themselves. 2. Handle interruptions with poise. Being interrupted can feel disrespectful, but how you handle it says everything about your confidence. Many people react by either withdrawing or lashing out, both of which can backfire. The goal is to respond with calm authority. When someone cuts you off mid-sentence, pause for a moment, look them directly in the eye, and say, "Can I finish my thought, please?" This sends a clear message that your words have value and should not be dismissed. Your calm demeanor also shows emotional maturity, which commands even more respect. Let's look at John, a junior employee in a meeting. Every time he spoke, his manager interrupted with their own ideas. Instead of retreating into silence, John calmly addressed the situation. "I'd like to finish my point first, and then we can discuss your thoughts." The room fell silent, and his manager let him continue. From that day on, interruptions became less frequent. It's also important to note that interruptions aren't always intentional. Sometimes people interrupt out of enthusiasm or habit. By addressing it gracefully, you not only reclaim your time, but also teach them to be more mindful in future conversations. Handling interruptions gracefully establishes you as a person who values their voice, and others will too. It's not about being aggressive, but about standing firm in your worth. 3. Turn insults into opportunities. Sometimes, insults or jokes at your expense can catch you off guard. Your instinct may be to snap back or retreat, but neither response serves you. Instead, try a disarming approach. When someone insults or mocks you, remain calm and ask, "Sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it?" This simple question forces them to repeat their words, often making them realize how inappropriate or unfunny they were. It also gives you time to regain control of the situation. Consider a scenario with Alex, who was often the target of jokes in his friend group. One day, when someone made a sarcastic remark about his career, Alex smiled and asked them to explain. The friends stumbled, realizing how rude their comment sounded when repeated. The dynamic shifted, and Alex emerged as someone who could rise above petty comments. Another effective strategy is to use humor to your advantage. For example, if someone makes a sarcastic remark about your appearance, you could respond with a lighthearted, "Thanks for noticing. I was going for that look." This shifts the power dynamic and shows that you're not easily shaken. Your calmness is your power. Don't let emotions dictate your response. By staying composed, you can turn even the harshest words into opportunities to command respect. 4. Disrupt negative energy with redirection. Some people thrive on provoking others. They enjoy watching you lose control or react emotionally. The key to handling these situations is to disrupt their rhythm by redirecting the conversation. When faced with negativity, ask an unrelated question like, "Have you been to that new coffee shop downtown?" Or make an offhand comment such as, "I wonder if it's going to rain later." This unexpected shift throws them off balance, making it difficult for them to continue their provocative behavior. Take Emma, who had a coworker constantly criticizing her ideas in meetings. Instead of engaging in a heated argument, she interrupted with a lighthearted question. "Hey, by the way, do you know a good place for lunch around here?" The coworker was so caught off guard that the criticism stopped. The rest of the team noticed Emma's composure, and their respect for her grew. Redirection is also a way to control the emotional energy of a room. If a group discussion becomes overly negative or critical, you can step in with a positive comment or question to shift the focus. People will remember you as the person who brought balance and kept things productive. By redirecting the energy, you stay in control and avoid unnecessary tension. It's a simple yet highly effective way to diffuse negativity and maintain your dignity. 5. Know your worth and when to walk away. Respect is earned, but it doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. Sometimes, the best way to command respect is to remove yourself from situations or relationships that consistently undermine your value. This could mean walking away from a toxic work environment, ending a draining friendship, or distancing yourself from a disrespectful family member. Choosing to leave doesn't signal defeat. It shows that you prioritize your self-respect over staying in a harmful dynamic. Consider Lisa, who worked for a boss who constantly criticized her in front of colleagues. Despite her efforts to address the issue, the behavior didn't stop. One day, Lisa decided to leave the job for a healthier work environment. Not only did she find a better opportunity, but her former colleagues also came to admire her courage to stand up for herself. Walking away isn't just about leaving. It's about moving towards something better. It's a declaration of your worth and a refusal to accept anything less than respect. Here's the truth. People will only value you as much as you value yourself. Walking away isn't defeat, it's self-respect in action. It sends a clear message. You value yourself too much to tolerate anything less than the respect you deserve. True respect starts from within. It's not something you demand from others, it's something you inspire by the way you carry yourself and the boundaries you establish. When you value yourself, others will naturally follow. But here's the catch. Self-respect requires action. It's about showing through your decisions and behaviors that you won't settle for anything less than the dignity you deserve. Take a moment to reflect. What are the boundaries you've set for your life? Are they strong enough to demand respect? Do you stand up for your ideas when others dismiss them? Do you address disrespect when it happens, or do you let it slide, hoping it won't happen again? These questions aren't easy to answer, but they're essential for cultivating respect in every area of your life. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "No one can make you feel inferior without your consent." This simple yet profound truth reminds us that we have the power to control how others treat us by how we treat ourselves. If you carry yourself with confidence and assertiveness, people will take notice. But if you tolerate disrespect, they'll assume it's acceptable. To make this practical, imagine a scenario where a coworker constantly takes credit for your ideas. You might feel disrespected, but do you speak up or stay silent to avoid conflict? Self-respect means addressing the issue directly, perhaps by calmly pointing out, "Actually, I suggested that idea earlier." It's uncomfortable in the moment, but it sets a precedent for how you expect to be treated moving forward. Respect isn't about perfection, it's about consistency. It's about showing up every day as someone who values their worth and isn't afraid to enforce it. It's about the small decisions. Saying no to a task that overwhelms you, speaking up when someone crosses a line, or even removing yourself from a toxic environment. These moments, though small, shape how you're perceived by others and by yourself. Here's another way to think about it. Imagine yourself as a mirror. The way you treat yourself is what others will reflect back to you. If you project confidence and clarity in your boundaries, people will respect those boundaries. But if you project uncertainty or self-doubt, others might see that as permission to overstep. The truth is, respect is less about others and more about the relationship you have with yourself. When you consistently act in a way that honors your values and worth, respect becomes a natural byproduct. So ask yourself, what's one area in your life where you can begin enforcing your boundaries more clearly? It could be at work, in a friendship, or even with yourself. The journey to respect starts with one small, intentional step. To recap, commanding respect doesn't require force. It requires intention. It's about the choices you make and the way you present yourself to the world. Let's quickly revisit the 5 strategies that will transform the way people perceive you. Make powerful first impressions. Handle interruptions with poise. Turn insults into opportunities. Disrupt negativity with redirection. And most importantly, know your worth and when to walk away. These actions not only build respect from others, but also reinforce your self-respect. Remember, respect is a two-way street. It's something you give, something you earn, and something you embody. It's not about demanding validation, but about inspiring it through your actions and boundaries. When you carry yourself with confidence and consistency, respect will follow naturally. Now it's your turn. Have you ever faced disrespect? How did you handle it? Was it a moment where you stood your ground, or a lesson learned for next time? Share your story in the comments below. I'd love to hear how you navigated those moments and what you've learned from them. Your experiences might just inspire someone else to take control of their narrative. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like it, share it with someone who could use these insights, and subscribe for more life-changing advice. By joining this community, you're taking the first step in becoming the most confident and respected version of yourself. And remember, respect starts with you. Every boundary you set, every time you choose to stand up for yourself, you're reinforcing your worth. Until next time, take care of yourself and keep growing, because the journey to self-respect never stops.